In this video, we'll be talking about Virgo Sun in the third house. And I recommend watching my Virgo Sun general video because in each video I make, I just cover completely different information. And in this case, we'll be focusing more on what it means in the third house specifically. So there's some stuff that I'm going to leave out about Virgo Sun because I covered it in the other video. Anyways, let's get right into it. This placement creates good conversationalists. When you have this placement, you are quite observant and generally you know how to bring value to a conversation. And especially you know how to draw information from others. Usually it's because you're quite observant, but you have the gift for gab. Because this is like double Mercury energy. The third house is in Virgo, and the third house is ruled by Mercury. Virgo is ruled by Mercury. So you have both elements of Mercury. You know how to give information, which is the third house or Gemini, and you know how to receive information. You know how to be charming and stuff, which is the Virgo element. So you know how to do that back and forth with somebody. Now, this doesn't necessarily mean that you're an extrovert because the ascendant will usually be in Cancer. That's the natural ascendant for this video, or for this placement. And for this video, that's what I will be referring to in a general way because there's this energy of Cancer. But some of you guys can have a different ascendant. But since the ascendant is in Cancer, the moon will show more so whether you're an introvert or an extrovert. If the moon is in like a very clearly extroverted placement, then, this will show an extrovert. Like, for example, if it was in a fire house and in an air sign, I don't think that's even possible with this ascendant. Hold on. Fire house would be in water signs. No, it's possible. But that would show definitely an extrovert. But if it's an introverted individual, like in earth houses or water houses, this shows that people usually have to come to you for interaction. Like, you don't necessarily initiate interaction, but like when people come to you, you are able to hold a good conversation. And you're very engaged because you're quite curious as well. The third house is about curiosity. Now, on a side note, completely different topic, but these people can have a bit of a chaotic routine. But nonetheless, they manage to stay on top of things. And people take notice of this, or they commend you for this. From time to time. So you may not be aware of how much you're on top of things, but like people will sometimes let you know, but usually you're quite humble and you don't think you're doing anything that special. You think it's normal. Anyways, yeah. So you're also seen as this highly intelligent individual, but it's like not in a braggadocious way. And I made up that word, but it's more so that people catch on to your intelligence later. Like through your actions and the way that you do things, people start to put two and two together. Like people start to notice like, wow, this individual is really smart or like really witty. But like for you, it's more of an internal trait. Like you don't externally show this to others, but people just catch on to it and they might compliment you about that. Generally speaking, there can be mental overload with this placement, with this fiery planet, the sun being in the third house, which is Mercury house, and in Virgo, which is the Mercury sign. You can be quite obsessive over details and whether they make sense. And you can be very focused on organizing a bunch of details, observations, facts, etc. in your head. So you can be an overthinker with this placement. And generally speaking, you think more than most. You think about things more than most. So you're a mental person or intellectual person who combines logic and observations in order to think. You're always curious about what you're seeing, and usually you act in an experimental way to find out what the truth is, or to know the answer. Generally, you just want to know answers. You want to find out things. And you can be a prankster, or you can play tricks on people a lot of times, because that's sun in the third house. Like, these people are curious and they like to act in a experimental way. Like, they like to see how people will act if they do something. Also, with the sun being in Virgo, sometimes you like to organize things in a funny way, or like you just want to see how people react to how you organized things, or to like material things. Like, you'll put something in the wrong place, or you might set things up for people to be confused. Like, that's the type of ways that you like to mess around, and like you just are a prankster in that way. You do it like from time to time. Like, you'll throw it into every day, you know. Especially with people that you're comfortable with, because the ascendant is in Cancer, so you may not be like this to all people, but like with family members, you're a little bit of a prankster from time to time. I'm not saying you're like this all the time, but in general, you just get pleasure in observing things. As Virgo, you are quite materially intelligent. So with material things, you're very resourceful, and everything must logically make sense and maximize the return. That's how you like to approach things. But with the added influence of Gemini, there is an added dose of logic. So not only are you logic from the Virgo side, but there's even more logic. So your ideas can be quite far out, or they can be very airy, like very mutable. So not only are you materially intelligent, meaning you like to think about things in a logical way regarding resources, but the Gemini makes you experimental, and it even adds even more logic. So you have more logic than practicality with this placement. And that, again, can be summed up to overthinking or mental overload. But with the sun being about our value to others and what we show others, what we radiate, people love the information that you give them or that you provide to them, and you love to provide new information. Since the sun can show career as well, this can indicate an individual that could work in a communication-oriented position or in a field that's communication-oriented. And this is just where you shine, anywho. You know, whether or not you work in that position, like, people always go to you if it's comes to communicating, or when it comes to receiving information. Like, if somebody needs to send an email and ask something for somebody, they know that you know how to do it, and you know how to get the information. You know how to do diplomacy in diplomatic situations. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video, or you saw yourself in some way. Other than that, I also do natal chart readings and inquiries, so if that interests you, the information is in the description. If you enjoyed, leave a like, subscribe to this channel for more content, and share this video with somebody you know that has this placement. Other than that, I appreciate you guys watching, and I'll see you guys sometime soon in another video.